Hi, and welcome to another edition, another school year of SIGG'S on the Springport 8th Grade Center on the Man Network, where it's all academic all the time. My name is Mr. Parcia. It's an honor to have with us Dr. Reinheimer from our 8th grade house principal and Dr. SIGG'S. And before they speak, we just want to introduce you to this show. This is a show we have been producing for the last 4 or 5 years. It's a kind of a principal newsletter show to keep parents and students abreast of what's going on in regards to the happenings at the 8th grade center. So we want to welcome new families, from the 7th grade to the 8th grade center. This is a very important year. We're looking forward to it once again, as we always do, and we're excited to get the year started. So we ask that, we know you're very busy. We know there's a lot of things going on. What we're asking you to do is please take the time and watch this video in its entirety, because we are ultra committed to making sure your child has the best experience possible as we encounter, this unorthodox beginning of the school year. So we're going to talk about today, schedule release. And tomorrow your child's schedule will be available in Skyward, and everybody's going to get excited. Understandably so. We're excited too. But what we want to tell you is this video is going to focus more on how to interpret that schedule. Okay, that's what this video is about. And then we're going to continue to feed you information piece by piece as we go throughout the next couple weeks. All right, so with that being said, Dr. SIGG'S, Dr. Reinheimer, would you like to begin to discuss what they can expect when the new students here at the 8th grade center see their student schedule tomorrow?
Well, what I'd like to do first, Mr. Parcia, is I want to thank you and Dr. Reinheimer for doing this video this evening. We're doing it Wednesday night, and it's, like you said, unorthodox start to the school year, and we have to adapt as well. So I appreciate everybody giving their time.
Yes.
Okay, so
absolutely.
Normally what happens for our families is we will, August 1st, we will provide our families with a rather lengthy video that details everything about the start of the school year, okay, from A to Z. And our parents have, remarked to us throughout the course of the last 4, 5, 6 years how much they enjoy the videos. And so that's why we continue to do them. And so that was really detailed. The problem with this August 1st was that there were so many unknowns, so many changes, so many things that were, it's a very difficult time. And all three of us are parents of school-age children. So we are dealing with it just like all of you are, and it is frustrating, and we're frustrated. So I'm just going to say that out front, but we are committed, like you said, to providing our kids with the best possible educational experience that we can. I also, as a parent, I don't want to receive information from my child's school that is constantly being revised. So what I want to receive is I want to receive information that is pretty solid and concrete, so that we can discuss it and wrap our arms around that and make sure that we're doing everything that we can for our kids at home to help them be successful in school with the information that the school has provided. So that is why we have not sent out earlier videos, and that's why what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of an incremental approach. Tonight is simply student schedule release. We have a whole other host of issues that we're currently resolving, and once they are resolved and we feel really good about how that's going to look, then there'll be another video that will come out talking about possibly student distribution and athletics and how the instruction is going to look like, and all those sorts of things. And we're going to do that bit by bit as we unfortunately have changes thrown at us at the last minute and so forth. So we have to adapt. We appreciate your cooperation during the course of this. So with that being said, tonight is student schedule release, and I'm going to let Dr. Reinheimer then go ahead and begin that portion of the conversation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. SIGG'S. Thank you, Mr. Parcia.
Thank you.
8th graders, I just want to welcome you to the 2020-2021 school year. We're going to have a great year. It's going to start off a little weird, but I know that we're going to have a great year, and you guys are really going to enjoy the 8th grade center. With that being said, tomorrow your schedules will be released in the afternoon. And there are a lot of things that are going to look the same as 7th grade, and there are a few things that are different. The things that are the same are your core classes. You're going to have math, science, and social studies, which is exactly the same as last year, 1 period. You're going to have English, which you had last year. And then your reading class for some of you will be a reading major, which will be every day. And for some of you, you will have a reading minor, which will be 3 days a cycle at the other end of your health and phys ed. You'll have the same specials. You'll have art, you'll have FCS, you'll have music, and you will have tech ed. And that will be 1 quarter each, the same as last year. The other difference besides your English and your reading is your language. If you do not have reading major, then you're going to have Spanish or French for 1 period every day, and that will count as a major class. Dr. Siggins, did I cover everything you wanted me to cover with that particular thing?
That is correct. Yep, that sounds good.
Okay, so everybody, those of you who are attending Springford Cyber Learning, and those of you that are attending our virtual are all going to have, and our brick and mortar are all going to have your schedules released tomorrow. Those of you who are attending Springford Cyber Learning, your schedule for that will be released on September 8th. But what we wanted to make sure is, in case there were a time during the school year where you wanted to make a switch, you have a schedule with us in the building. So that's what you're going to see tomorrow if you are Springford Cyber Learning, but you will also get a schedule released on September 8th. Okay. Now, we utilize a 6-day cycle, just like you're used to, all the way through, but more specifically last year, so that's not going to change. And the time schedule is very similar, but a little bit different. And Mr. Percia, this might be a good time to show that.
So I'm going to share, you would like me to share the screen then?
So let's take a look at this time schedule.
Mr. Parcia. Scroll down, Mr. Parcia, yep.
Yep, hold on, I just want to make sure, okay, here we go. Sorry, I just want to make sure on paper layout.
Yep.
That good right there?
Keep going, please. There you go.
Okay.
Right there?
So,
Yeah.
thank you. So we have 4 lunches again that are roughly the same time, but here's the difference. Last year, on your first day of school, you went into your class, your homeroom teacher walked you through your schedule, and they told you what lunch you had. And so you knew what lunch you were going to have. This year, our tech department is making it available on Skyward for you to figure out which lunch you have so you know which schedule to follow. Now, here's the thing. It's not quite in there yet. We have a lot of things going on in the back end of Skyward. We have a lot of things going on with our tech department. Hopefully you picked up your laptops this week. So it's not quite in there. When that feature in Skyward is available to you, we will let you know and you will be able to figure out which lunch you have. But in general, it is the same type of situation that you had last year. If you have first lunch, it starts at 10:19. And if you have last lunch, it starts at 12:37. So those are the same. And like I said, you will be able to figure out which lunch you have once that feature is put in Skyward, and we'll send the directions for you. And then it should be pretty easy to figure out. Okay? And
I'd like to just jump in with this. It's going to be really important for our students. Okay, it's not important obviously for the next week or two, but it will be important for students to know what time their lunch is, because that will dictate the timing of their other scheduled class periods. So that's going to be the key part. So if I know I have third lunch at 11:51 to 12:21 as it's outlined right here, then that's when I sit down in each day to do my virtual online learning, then I need to follow those schedules and make sure that I check into those classrooms, those different periods at those specific times. So you have to use your lunch to tell you what schedule and bell schedule to follow while you're at home.
And then that schedule will translate when we move into the building, and it'll be the same. So that'll be something that you're very much used to. And I think I covered everything for that section.
Perfect. Okay, so overall, just a couple little things. So coming from 7th grade, they did world language a few days out of the cycle. And if they did world language,
yep,
right? And then that reading class was like the 5-day a week, correct, right?
So they actually had either 3
Mhm.
days of language or 3 days of reading target.
Okay.
And
So does that flip-flop this year? It's almost like the world language would be like 5 days a week, and then that reading minor would be 3 days a week. Would that be correct?
Sort of, yes. The students that took reading target most likely have reading major, which is 5 days a week now, or I'm sorry, every day of the cycle now. And those students who had 3 days of language will now have 3 days of reading and 5 days of language.
Got it. Okay. All right. Perfect. Great.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Dr. Reinheimer, thanks for doing that. Mr. Parsi, you can you stop sharing then.
Okay.
The last thing I would like to talk to the parents about is this. We really appreciate our parent support last year and this year. I mean, Dr. Reinheimer's been communicating with families all along. I've had a few reach out to me. I appreciate that. We are going to ask for your assistance right here, and I'm a pretty honest person, so I want to just kind of lay this out for everybody so they understand. When kids are coming to the 8th grade, the schedule, we're not teamed in 8th grade. And so we have kids that we have some different course offerings. And so when you start increasing course offerings, then you start making the complexity of the schedule and the actual scheduling of students a little bit more challenging, okay? And throw in the fact that we're having some rather large classes of students come through the 8th grade. Last year we had 680, this year we have about 655. You know, our main priority is to, you know, obviously give the kids what they are supposed to receive, the classes that they're supposed to receive. And then we want to make sure that we do our very best to balance out the numbers of students within the class periods. You don't want to have classes of 32, 33, and so forth, okay? So we spend an awful lot of time with that. In Skyward, there is a scheduling feature that does a lot of that work for us. You know, you put the requests in, it spins them into the courses, and then we have to go in and verify, and that takes a little bit of time, okay? Normally, in a normal year, we would be virtually done with the student schedules by the end of July, the beginning of August. And at that point, what we're doing then is we're dealing with the kids that are, you know, withdrawing, or new students that are coming in, and we're you know, taking kids out, putting kids in, and continuing our best to balance out the numbers of students. This year, there is a possibility, I don't know if or when that will happen, but there is a possibility that we might utilize that hybrid model, where half the students will be coming into the building for a couple of days a week, and a second half will be coming in 2 other days during the course of the week, okay? And so, you know, to me, it's like, well, some people say, well, that's easy, just, you know, the student body, cut it in half and go from there. Well, it's not that easy, okay? And we were trying to figure out exactly what's gonna be the determination for what kids are gonna be that first half, the blue kids, and what's gonna designate the second half of the kids to be considered the gold kids. And the way that was determined was through their transportation needs. Okay, so our transportation department sent us a listing of all the students coming to 8th grade, and they had that either blue or gold designation. And the issue that we ran into, okay, and I'm explaining all this to you so that you understand, is that when we put the schedules out, Skyward did not consider blue or gold designations, because it was not something that it was considering when, you know, within its program. Okay, so that was not considered. So what Dr. Reinheimer and I had to do is, over the course of the last week and a half, we had to go through every class list of every class period. We're talking a couple of hundred class lists. Okay, we had to go through and we had to tally up how many blue and how many gold students were there. Because if in fact we would choose to do that hybrid model at some point in time this year, we'll be ready. And what I mean by being ready, in order to be able to socially distance 6 feet apart in our classrooms, we can fit approximately 17 to 19 desks with that 6 foot distancing requirement, okay? So let's say, for example, and one of the things that we saw, Dr. Reinheimer saw just like I did, if I had 28 students enrolled in a class, we had situations where 24 of them were blue and 4 of them were gold. okay? And so we had to fix that because we could not have 24 students that were blue show up because we couldn't fit them in a classroom. So for the last 2 weeks, what we've been doing right now is really spending time going through and smoothing out blue and gold as well. Okay, so the complications of the schedule are what they are. This year, it was made even more tedious because of that added feature. And we took the time to do that so that if or when that we would have to go to that hybrid model, we will be prepared. And safety obviously is our number one. We want to make sure that happens. So I'm sharing all this with you because we all know what happens tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Everybody's going to be sitting breathlessly waiting for Skyward to come up so everybody can see what their schedules are. And then immediately the kids are going to go ahead and they're going to be taking up their phones and they're going to be saying, who do you got? Who do I got? What's this? What's right? And then we get those phone calls, right? And it's like, can my son be with a friend in this class? Or I would prefer this teacher over that teacher. And what I'm saying to you is we're really not going to be able to honor those requests, okay? And the reason being is that, the difference, of moving one kid might be the difference of us not being able to fit a kid into class safely. And that's the issue. So I'm being honest, I'm being upfront with you. I'm explaining all this to you so that you understand. We would ask that you understand what we're doing and how much time and effort's been put into it and that you respect that because it's been quite a challenge. And the last couple of years when we deal with our families, they've demonstrated, a lot of appreciation and we thank them for that. We hope that continues this year. Okay. You have any questions about that, Mr. Parcia?
And I think just listening to you say that, I just want to say, we've worked together for close to 20 years now. And we've been in the 8th grade center together, 16, 17 years. Dr. Ronheimer, you've been with us quite a while too, through the rotation. I can assure you, the families, that any decision that's made from this specific administration is in the best interest of the kids, is going to be well thought out, right, with genuine care. And I promise you that any decision that's made is well calculated, planned accordingly, and you will find that we always try to be one step ahead of the curve. And you heard Dr. SIGG'S say, it's very difficult to do these schedules, but we're already, planning ahead. Just in case there is a hybrid model in the future, this schedule can easily, the way it's constituted, can easily, adapt and go along with that change. So I know parents, we're all anxious. Being a teacher, I'm excited to start. I mean, it's a new challenge. I know you guys, Dr. Ronheimer and Dr. SIGG'S, you're nervous, but it's a new challenge. We're kind of excited. It's just, it's a new age, and we're going to embrace this and make the best of it. And we ask that you parents, when you talk to your child, we ask, please, let's have an open mind and a positive attitude. But I just want you to know that, we do care. Okay. We do. That's why we're taking the time to try to be as upfront and honest and tell you everything we know with these videos, because we want to have a great school year. We want to see your child do well. We want to see your child learn. They will learn. They will be thoroughly prepared for high school. I've seen it for the past 20 some years. Okay. We're going to make the best of this. And please, patience is key. We're doing our best, and we're going to conquer this. And we're going to make the best of this, and we're excited to start. So it's great to hear that, you guys are taking that extra time to even think that far ahead. As a teacher, I would never thought of that. So great job. Dr. Ronheimer, Dr. SIGG'S, is there anything else you'd like to address? I know we were going to do another video in the near future outlining a couple more issues. Do we want to get into that yet, or would you like to wait on that? Just to kind of give them a heads up of what's coming next.
No, I would just encourage parents just to, we're going to be, as we finalize items, then, we'll be putting out the videos. We like the videos. They seem to like them. You can watch them whenever you want. You don't have to read things. Most people like our conversation. They get more out of the conversation than they would the written word. And like you said, it's frustrating time, but we are going to do the best that we can. And the cool
Absolutely.
thing about all the adults that work in the building is they really do care, and they're gonna work hard for your children. They
Yeah.
just are. And I'm looking forward to working with our parents as well. And Dr. Reinheimer, you've talked highly about this group, so it should be a good year.
Absolutely. And Dr. Reinham, we're thrilled to have you back again in this rotation. It's good to see a principal come back through our building again. So welcome back to the 8th grade center. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Excellent. All right. Anything else, you guys? That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys again soon with more information. Again, patience is key, a positive attitude, and that'll be it. And thank you for watching this edition of SIGG'S On with Dr. Reinheimer and Dr. SIGG'S. And again, I'm Mr. Parcia, science teacher. We'll see you again soon, and have a great evening on the Springford 8th Grade Center on Demand Network, where it still is and always will be all academic all the time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Have a good evening.